Welcome back, YouTube peeps and barbecue freaks. I truly appreciate you stopping by. Today's video, baby back ribs. Now, I happen to run across a YouTube channel called Making It Mojo. I will leave a link below, and I highly recommend, if you are not following him, to go and follow this channel. This is a channel that I just happened to run across the other day, and this is one of the very, very few channels that I actually was enjoy so much that I binge watched all of his videos in like 2 days. So I really dig what he was doing. Come to find out, I believe he's the owner of the MOJO BBQ rub, or the creator. Now, I've had this rub for a while and I've never used it. Watching his video made me realize I need to pull this thing out and give it a shot. He did a video of some ribs that he did at Memphis in May and won with, and I'm gonna kind of copy that video a little bit, in that he used his rub and then he used Malcolm Reed's hot barbecue rub, these two together. Now, I'm not using the same sauce that he had, but I'm gonna use these same rubs together. It looked really good. So I've got some baby back ribs. We're gonna pull them out and do very minimal trimming, remove the membrane, get them seasoned up with these two right here. I'm gonna throw them on the Weber kettle and see how they turn out. And that video is coming up next. All right, so here I got some baby back ribs. I am going to trim a little bit. I'm not gonna trim off anything off the top. I don't think there's anything here that really needs to be trimmed off, but I'm gonna come down here and trim off a little bit from the bottom. Make sure I find that, where's that bone? Right there. Flip it over, same thing to the other side. Oh, let me get to this cartilage. There you go. Put these over. And that is it. We are going to remove this membrane from the back. Take a napkin, paper towel. Pull it right off. All right, once you got that off, there's a little loose meat down here that I'm gonna trim right off. We won't need it. That is it. We are going to get that out of the way. Some loose meat here. We're gonna season these bad boys up. A little fat. Scrape it off, clean it up. So that's that. I'm going to add some of the Killer Hogs hot barbecue rub first as a base layer. So we're gonna get that on here. We're gonna let this sit for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'll come back with the MOJO barbecue rub. All right, these ribs have sweated in nicely. I'm gonna take some of the MOJO barbecue rub right over the top. Same thing, I'm gonna let it sit for about 15 minutes. We'll flip it over, do the meat side. All right, meat side is done. We're gonna season the top side. Now this time I'm gonna start with the MOJO barbecue rub on top. Give this thing a nice coating all the way around. And let this sweat in for about 15 minutes as well. And we'll hit it with the Malcolm Reed's hot barbecue rub, and then they'll be ready to go in the smoker. All right, so that's sweated in really nicely. And take this Malcolm Reed's, the hot barbecue rub, and come right over the top. This rub combination, even just the Killer Hogs by itself, gives ribs amazing color. So that's it. We'll let this sit. We're gonna fire up the Weber kettle and we'll get these on once that comes up to temp. All right, so for this cook, I'm actually gonna use this harder charcoal. Now this company sent me this to try out. I have used it about 3 or 4 times and I really am digging it. I love that it burns hot, fast, clean. I haven't had any issues with it. Some really good charcoal. I will leave a link to their website if you're interested in trying it out. Like I said, they did send me this bag, but I got to tell you, so far I've been really pleased with it. So that's what I have here. I've got my chimney going. Once that gets lit, I'm going to drop in my slow and sear. We'll drop the charcoal in there, the lump, and then get the ribs on. All right, these ribs have sweated in. Look at that. That's how they should look. Beautiful color, nice sweat in. Let's take them outside and get them on the pit. All right, my pit is up to temp. We're gonna cook these at about 300 degrees. Look at the color on those ribs. Absolutely perfect. So get them in here, lay them straight. Again, how you lay them is how they cook. Bunch them up a little bit. I am going to drop some wood in here. I'm going to use a 50-50 mix of oak and pecan. I've got 1 chunk of oak and 1 chunk of pecan. And that'll be enough for what we need. Get the lid closed, check back in about an hour. Oh, and by the way, I got my top vents and bottom vents about halfway open. All right, so we are an hour in. We're running about 300 degrees. Oh yeah, these ribs are starting to dry out. So we're gonna give them a spritz. I'm just gonna use some water, kind of rehydrate this rub. Keep it moist. These little pieces here are those 2 end pieces you saw me cut off. I just put a different rub on them that I want to try out, so, but don't worry about that. Look at this, these ribs. These ribs are taking on some really nice color. Look at this. Man, look at that. That is beautiful. So, we're gonna continue to let them go. And then I'm gonna spritz about every 15 minutes for the next hour. You know what, I am going to rotate just to help ensure we get some even cooking. That's it, get them closed up. And about every 15 minutes, I'm gonna come back out and give them a quick little spritz. All right, so these ribs have been going for right at 2 hours. Got some nice color on them. This bark is set. It's time to wrap. I'm gonna take some brown sugar. Let me better that down. Then I've got one stick of butter. You could probably just use half of it, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with the other half, so might as well just use it all, right? There's that. And then I'm gonna come back with some honey. Now, in Make It Mojo, he actually had I believe it was like a habanero honey, which sounded really good. I don't have that, I just have regular honey. So we're gonna run with that. And then a little more of the MOJO BBQ rub. Take the ribs, meat side down, right over the top, and get this closed up. Nothing on the bottom side. I want to get this wrapped nice and tight. And then we're gonna get this back on the Weber kettle, let it go for about 45 minutes. We'll take a look at it. And then we'll see if we need to, continue to let it go, or if they'll be just about done. So wrapped up, back on the Weber kettle, and I'll pick back up in about 45 minutes to an hour to take a look at them. All right, so these ribs have been wrapped for about an hour and a half. I did check the temperature. Now, I really wasn't worried about the temperature. I was mainly worried about the tenderness of these ribs. But these ribs are reading around 203 to 208 in certain spots. So they're done. My thermopin is going through it nicely without any issues. So those are done. I am going to sauce these. Now the sauce that I'm using is actually, I have this little bottle of Blues Hogs Championship blend. But this is actually a 50-50 mix of the Blues Hog. And you guys know I like the Head Country Apple Habanero here. So this is just a 50-50 mix that I put in this little container. And just gonna get some on the back. Sauce's backside. And then I'm gonna flip it over and do the meat side. Get rid of that. So flip these over. Ooh, see that bone already come right out. So these things are pretty tender. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. So, where's it at? Right here. I'm gonna take some of this MOJO rub. MOJO barbecue rub. Gonna sprinkle the top a little bit, and then come back with that barbecue sauce. Kind of pat it dry. Get all the sides, top. And then I'm gonna put them back on the pit for just about 15 minutes. Let that sauce set. Now I am going to really quickly, 1 second. So I've got some water here that I was spritzing with earlier. I'm gonna kind of re-hit this sauce. Just kind of make that sauce a little more liquidy, so that way as it sets, as it warms up, it'll smooth out a little more. So I'm gonna take these back outside. 10, maybe 15 minutes on the pit, just like this. Let that sauce set a little bit, and then we'll bring them inside, cut them up, and we'll see how that tastes. Look at that. That is some nice coloring on these ribs. That looks good. I'll pick back up in just a bit. All right, this sauce has set. That's what they look like. Nice. So we use the Killer Hogs hot barbecue rub and the MOJO barbecue rub. They look nice. We're going to cut these up and give them a taste. All right, so I am going to, let's see, cut this bone off on the end. it a 2 cut. Then we're gonna cut this bone off. Come up against this one, make it another 2 cut. And I think that's gonna be it for right now. We'll get these turned over. So what I did is on this cutting board, I put some of the barbecue sauce down, and then I sprayed it with a little bit of water just to make a wet surface. So that way it wouldn't mess up the sauce too much. So these are the ribs. Oh, they look nice. We'll see. Nice little smoke ring. Nice and saucy. So let's give it a taste. All right, let's take here. This rib, nice color, nice smoke ring. Man, picking up that smoky flavor. Smells good. Let's give it a bite. Nice clean bite. All right, that bite's good. Nice clean bite. Just gonna take these bones, pull them apart, and see if that rib just comes right off. Worked for me. I don't know if you can pick this up, man, but there's tons of moisture against this bone. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but man, tons of moisture. Gotta give it another bite. I gotta tell you, that is that's a messy rib. I think I might have went a little too heavy with the sauce. I don't know. It tastes good though. I think those rubs, the MOJO BBQ rub, along with the Killer Hogs hot barbecue rub, these two together, I think worked really well. Now, I will say, these are sweeter than ribs that I'm used to making or that we're used to having to cook here in competitions in Texas. I would have added maybe a little more salt to competition ribs if that's what I was aiming for. But just, I mean, if you're looking for a good rib to cook at home, I mean, even in comps, I think this combo works great. If you're doing like a KCBS or something outside of Texas where they prefer sweet, I think these might be a little too sweet for down here. I think I could take these two and mix them with one other rub to get what I'm looking for. But man, this MOJO barbecue rub, I'm glad I ran across Making It MOJO's YouTube channel. Again, I just found it the other day, binge watch all of his videos. I will leave a link below. Make sure you go and subscribe to this channel. It's got some really, really cool stuff. And I just like his whole attitude overall. And when he's making videos is what really, attracted me. So I think both of these worked well together on these baby backs. I like it. And I think the sauce, the Blues Hog Championship blend with a little bit of the apple habanero from Head Country, I think worked really well as well. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. I actually enjoyed cooking these ribs today. It was a little different from what I'm used to doing because I don't normally do baby backs. I do spare ribs, St. Louis, style ribs. I think they turned out great. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys at the next one. Take care.